The following is a 40-minute full body class with lots of options for all skill levels to enjoy. You'll need your mat, 2 blocks, and maybe some water. We'll start off in child's pose. So your knees can be wide along the outside edges of the mat, or you could have your knees together. And slowly walk your hands out on the mat. Maybe your arms are outstretched in front, or maybe you stacked your palms one on top of the other, resting your forehead on top. Find a child's pose that can work in your body and slow down your breathing. I invite you to close your eyes and draw your attention to your breath, observing your breath come in, observing your breath come out. Relaxing your face, relaxing your jaw. And if your palms are stacked underneath your forehead, I'd like you to stretch out your arms in front of you so that your fingers are reaching for the short edge of the mat. And draw your forehead back to the mat. Let it rest on the mat. And imagine a clock face here. So your fingers are reaching for the 12 and your sit bones are reaching for the 6. So with every inhale, think about getting longer. With every exhale, think about sinking a little bit closer to the mat. And on your next breath cycle, as you inhale, come up onto your fingertips, lifting your forehead off the mat, so tenting your fingers. And I'd like you to walk your arms to the left, so stepping your hands, maybe one is stepping over the other. As you can walk as far left as you can, and then take your right palm and stack it on top of your left. Maybe your forehead is dropping back to the mat, or maybe you're cradling your head with your elbows. Breathing here in this side stretch. Long, deep breaths. And on your next inhale, unstack your hands, come back onto your fingertips, and slowly walk your arms and your hands all the way to the right. And when you've reached as far right as you can go, take your left palm on top of your right, stacking them. Maybe your forehead is touching the mat, maybe not. Breathing here. Long, deep inhales followed by long, deep exhales. On your next inhale, unstack your palms and walk them back to the center. And then keeping your fingers tented on the mat, draw your chin into your chest as you inhale, rolling yourself up into tabletop pose. So now your wrists are underneath your shoulders and your knees are essentially below your waist. You can curl your toes on the mat, or you can leave them uncurled and do a few cat-cows. So looking up, drawing your shoulder blades down your spine as you inhale. Exhale, rounding your spine, pushing the mat away. Again, inhaling. Looking up, moving with your breath, opening your throat. Exhale, rounding your spine, drawing your chin into your chest. One more time, inhaling, sending your tailbone to the sky, exhaling, curling your back and your shoulders. And then come back to a regular tabletop position and extend your right foot behind you, pressing the ball of your right foot onto the mat. Taking a calf stretch here. When you're ready, lift that right foot up. You don't have to maintain it so that it's parallel with the ground. You can go higher. Option to lift your left arm up. At the same time, left thumb is pointing to the sky and you're looking down, keeping your neck neutral, breathing here. With every inhale, envision yourself getting longer. So reaching forward with your fingers and back with your toes. When you exhale, think about your limbs getting a little bit higher. One more inhale here. Exhale, all your limbs down. Left side, extend that left leg behind you, pressing the ball of your foot into the mat. And when you're ready, lift that left leg high. Your right arm can also come up. Right thumb is pointing to the sky. Breathing here, using your core. Looking down, keeping your neck neutral. Long, deep inhales, followed by long, deep exhales. One more inhale here, and exhale all your limbs down. And we're going to do a wrist stretch before we keep going. So with your wrists below your shoulders, I'd like you to flip your hands so that your palms are facing you. And you can have your palms open, fingers open, or you can make fists with your hands. We're going to inhale, bringing our forehead to tap down. Exhale, coming up. So if it feels too tight making a fist, you can open up your hands. Inhale down. Exhale up. 2 more times. Inhale, moving with your breath. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. And flip your palms back on the mat and curl your toes onto the mat. And when you're ready, lift your knees and push back to downward dog, finding your first expression of downward dog. So maybe walking out the dog here, bending one leg and straightening the other. Remember, your fingers and your thumbs are wide on the mat. And your hands are placed about shoulder width apart in downward dog. And then when you're ready, on your next breath cycle, taking an inhale, step to the right edge of your mat, staying in downward dog. Now your toes are pointing all the way to the left and your heels are pointing right. Dip your hips to the right. So taking a dip and a side stretch, staying in your downward dog pose and breathing here. So your knees and your toes are pointing in the same direction. One more inhale. And exhale, stepping all the way to the other side. Now your toes are pointing left and your heels are your toes are pointing right and your heels are dipping left and your hips are dipping to the left. Keeping that downward dog pose, bending your knees more if you want a deeper pull here on your right side body. Breathing in and out. And then inhale your feet back to the center, finding your downward dog pose. And then shift your glance to the short edge of your mat, looking up, coming up high onto your tippy toes, staying on your tippy toes. Walk your feet towards your hands. See if you can walk all the way there, and then take a forward fold. Bending your knees maybe a little or a lot here. Option to grab hold of opposite elbows, maybe moving side to side. That's option 1. Option 2 is to wrap your arms behind you, interlacing your fingers, opening up your shoulders, staying in your forward deep bend. Option 3 is to take your arms crisscrossing behind your head, cradling your head as you're pressing opposite hand into opposite shoulder blade. Bringing your crown, the crown of your head, closer to the floor and stretching your hamstrings. And from whichever option you've taken, take one more breath cycle. And exhale, release your arms to the mat. Let your knuckles graze the floor as you take a deep bend. And then take your right hand to your right waist, left hand to your left waist, and with a long spine, inhale, coming all the way up to standing. And exhale your hands down. Remember to grab water whenever you need it. Come back and take your blocks. Take them to the front of your mat. You will be using them. Place one on either side. And we'll start with a few sun salutations. So sweep your arms up as you inhale. Reach up for the sky. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips can come to the mat, your shins or your knees as you look up, opening your throat, lengthening your spine. Exhale, your hands to the mat. Step your right foot back and then step your left foot back and come up through high plank, pushing forward down to the mat as you exhale. Elbows are in. Untuck your toes and take a cobra. Inhaling as you lift your heart off the mat. Exhaling, pushing back to downward dog. Find your downward dog pose. Find some stillness in this pose. Slowing down the momentum of your breath here. And on your next breath cycle, you'll tuck your chin into your chest and roll forward slowly like you're moving through water to high plank. Staying here and breathing in high plank. Option to come down to your knees if you need it. Long, deep breaths. We're going to take side plank on either side, but a rolling side plank. So you'll keep one foot in front of the other. So when you're ready, you'll take a deep inhale, pointing your toes to the left, bringing your left arm up. One foot's in front of the other. Exhaling that left hand down, breathing in regular plank. Inhaling the right arm up, stacking your shoulders. And exhaling that hand down, breathing out here. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale your left hand down. Regular plank. Inhale, other side. Right arm up. Exhale, regular plank. Tuck your chin into your chest. Inhaling back to downward dog. Exhale here, finding stillness in your dog. Long, deep breaths. And shift your gaze to the short edge of your mat, the top of your mat. Come up high onto your tippy toes. Bend your knees towards the mat without touching, but getting really close and stepping or hopping towards your hands. Forward fold as you exhale here. Inhale, sweeping your arms all the way up, bringing your hands to your heart as you exhale. And one more time. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. Glance at your palms as you exhale, forward fold to a deep bow. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to the mat. Exhale, press your hands down, step or hop back through chaturanga. So coming in through high plank, pushing forward, bringing your elbows in as you go down to the mat, untuck your toes and lift your heart off the mat. Inhaling and pushing back to downward dog. breathing here. Long inhales followed by long exhales. Relaxing your face. Maybe your heels are reaching for the floor, and maybe they're not. When you're ready, inhale, curling your chin into your chest, rolling forward again, slowly to high plank. Find yourself in a high plank, and you can do the next exercise with your knees on the mat if you need to. We're coming down to a low plank. So you'll start by inhaling. Inhale down to your right elbow. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale back onto your right hand. Exhale, left. Other side. Inhale. So you're moving slowly with your breath. Right elbow. Inhale, left hand. Right hand. One more time. Right elbow. Left elbow. Right hand. Left hand. Last time, left side. Left elbow. Right elbow. Left hand. Right hand. You'll find yourself in high plank. And I'd like you to come down slowly to the mat in 8 seconds. If you can, option to come down to your knees first in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Stack your hands underneath your forehead. Rest your forehead on your hands, uncurling your toes behind you. Take a few deep breaths here. And when you're ready, lift your forehead off your hands and take your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers. And we're going to be lifting all our limbs. So take on your next breath cycle, take an inhale, lifting all your limbs off the mat, your arms, your shoulders, your heart, your legs, maybe your thighs, pointing your toes, breathing here. Long deep breaths. One more inhale. And exhale everything down, bringing your right cheek, your right ear to rest on the mat. Drawing your attention to your breathing. And we'll do that again. Option to take a bow pose. So you can do what we just did, or you can bend both legs. Take your right hand to reach back for your right ankle, left hand to reach back for your left ankle. And grabbing hold of each ankle, flex your feet. And looking down, take another inhale, lifting your legs off the mat, lifting your torso off the mat. Your heels are reaching for the sky in boat pose. And your heart is reaching forward, breathing here. One more inhale. And exhale, this time bringing your left cheek and your left ear to rest on the mat. And slowly lift your forehead from resting on the mat. Take your hands and place them underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes on the mat, and when you're ready, push off the mat back to plank, tucking your chin into your chest, finding your downward dog pose once again. Finding stillness in this pose. And then shift your gaze to the top of the mat. Come up high onto your tippy toes. Bend your toes once again. Bend your knees once again to the mat. And step or hop to your hands. Forward fold as you exhale. And inhale, sweeping your arms all the way up. Exhaling your hands to your heart. Now taking a block between your legs. I'd like you to put that block between your upper thighs and squeeze that block with your thighs so your feet are probably more narrow than shoulder width apart. We'll come into chair pose. So sweep your arms up, take a deep inhale with your arms extended to the sky. Sit back, exhaling as you do, bending your knees, maybe a deep bend, maybe even lower. You can have your arms alongside your ears, or you can bring your hands to your heart, or you can have your hands at your waist. It's up to you. Keep breathing and relax your face in this pose, lengthening your spine. One more inhale here. And exhale, bringing yourself back up to standing. Let your hands go. Take a breath or two in standing. And when you're ready, inhale, sweeping your arms up or coming back to chair. Exhaling, bringing your hands to your heart, palms together. This time twist, so bringing your left elbow to the outside edge of your right knee. Twisting to the right. Keeping that block between your feet. Option to open up your arms here. So your right fingers are pointing to the sky and your left fingers are pointing to the mat. Breathing here in this twist. One more inhale. And exhale, releasing. Inhale back up to standing, keeping your hands at your heart. Take a breath or two here. When you're ready, inhale your arms up. Coming onto the other side, exhale your hands to your heart, stepping back into your chair pose, right elbow to outside edge of left knee this time, twisting to the left, keeping that deep bend in both of your knees. Option to open up your arms. Fingertips are opening up into opposite directions, pointing in different directions, stacking your shoulders, breathing here. One more inhale and exhale, releasing your twist. Inhale, coming back up to standing and remove that block, but keep both blocks close by, please, because you will be using them. So one on either side. And then stepping to the front of your mat once more, sweep your arms up, inhaling as you do, look up to your palms, exhale, forward fold, coming all the way to a deep bow. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening your spine. Exhale, stepping or hopping back through chaturanga, so coming forward and down to the mat. Inhaling and tucking your toes, cobra or upward dog. Exhaling, pushing back to downward dog. Finding stillness in downward dog. Slowing down the momentum of your breath here. And on your next breath cycle, inhale, stepping your left foot to the center of your mat, staying in downward dog. Inhaling your right leg all the way up. Extending your right leg, so taking a three-legged dog, breathing here with your right leg extended and your right toes are pointing to your mat. So our hips are closed, our hips are square with the mat. And on your next breath cycle, after you take your inhale, you'll exhale, bending your right knee and drawing it into your chest. Come forward, tap your right knee to left elbow, hovering here. Inhale all the way back, extending that right leg up. Exhale, bending your right knee, tapping your right elbow, hovering here. Inhale, extending that right leg all the way back. and bending that right leg, bringing it into your chest and placing your right foot close to your right thumb and spin onto your left heel. We're coming up into warrior one. Before you do that, make sure you have your blocks close to you, and please make sure that your left toes are pointing to the left corner, the upper left corner of your mat. Once you have that and your feet are on two separate tracks, take a deep bend in your right knee and push yourself up to warrior one, floating your fingertips to the sky. Breathing here. Long, deep breaths, relaxing your face, relaxing your jaw. And then bring your palms together and inhale that front leg straight. Now both legs are straight. Exhale, bending your elbows, drawing your thumbs to the nape of your neck. Breathing here. On your next breath cycle, you'll inhale and then exhale, taking a forward fold. Maybe your hands are coming to the mat, or maybe you're resting your palms on two blocks. Your feet remain in the warrior one pose. So it's a runner stretch, but your back toes are still pointing towards the left corner of your mat. Draw in your chin to your chest and take your runner stretch here. Long, deep breaths. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bend your right knee and bring the block to the outside edge of your right foot. Take your left hand and place it on that block with your right knee bent. Option to stay here or to take a full twist, lifting that right arm up to the sky, palm is facing out, twisting in warrior one with your right knee bent. Breathing here. One more inhale. And exhale that right hand down, removing the blocks and coming into side plank on the left side. So placing your left hand down, spin your heel, spin off your back heel, take your right foot back on top of your left foot, or with one foot in front of the other, taking your side plank on the left side. Left hand is down. Stack your shoulders, lift your waist higher, taking the pressure off your wrist. Breathing here, flaring your collarbones. And exhale, bringing that right hand down. Take a normal, regular plank pose and tuck your chin into your chest as you roll back to downward dog. Option to take a child's pose here or to rest in downward dog, finding stillness here. Slowing down the momentum of your breath. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So when you're ready, on your next breath cycle, inhale, stepping your right foot to the center of the mat. Exhaling here. Inhaling your left foot all the way up, keeping your hips square with the mat. So left toes are pointing to the mat. Breathing in your three-legged dog. Breathing in and breathing out. And on your next breath cycle, we'll do the tap. So inhale, your left leg really, really high. Exhale, bending your left knee. Exhaling, drawing your left knee to tap your right elbow. Hovering here. Inhaling, extending that left leg back. And bending your left knee again. Exhaling, tapping left knee to left elbow. Hovering. Inhaling back, moving really slow like water. Exhaling, bringing in that knee all the way and placing your left foot close to your left hand. Spinning onto your back heel. Remember, your right toes are now pointing to the right corner, the upper right corner of your mat for Warrior One. Get your blocks ready for when you come down into a runner's lunge. Bend your left knee, push off the mat or your blocks to your Warrior One pose. Floating your fingertips to the sky, keeping a deep bend in that left knee. Breathing in and out, relaxing your face. One more inhale, bring your palms together. Exhale, straightening that left leg, drawing your thumbs to the nape of your neck and pausing here as you breathe in and out. Then you'll take another inhale and exhale, forward fold down to the mat or to your blocks, taking your runner's lunge. Breathing here, both legs are fairly straight. Your feet are still in a Warrior One stance, so on two separate tracks. Drawing in your chin towards your chest. One more inhale, and as you exhale, start to bend your left knee. Bring that block, if you like to have it there next to your left foot. Take your right hand this time on top of that block. So remember, you can stay here, just hanging out here, or you can lift that left arm and take a full twist. Breathing into your twist, aiming to stack your shoulders one on top of the other, relaxing your face. Long, deep breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, releasing your twist. Now coming up into side plank on the right side. So if you have your blocks, move them out of the way. Place your right hand down, spin off your back heel. So now your toes are all pointing in the same direction, pressing into that right hand. Take your left foot back. Maybe it rests on top of your right leg, and take your side plank. Or maybe you're taking a side plank option. One foot is in front of the other, or maybe the top knee is bent. Supporting you here, lifting your torso up, lifting your waist up, stacking your shoulders, sticking your heart out. One more inhale. And exhale that left hand back down, regular plank pose, and come down to your knees. And slowly sit back. Bring both hands to your thighs and slide them down as you roll your back and draw your chin into your chest. And then take a deep inhale, coming forward, sliding your hands back, sticking your heart out. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, rounding your spine, just like we did at the beginning with cat-cow. And inhale, sliding your hands back, opening your heart. And then come down to the mat. So we'll do one more strength pose before we start to close the class. So for this pose, it's a reverse tabletop. I'd like your wrists to be below your shoulders, and you might have to play with where your feet are. If your feet are too close to your hips, it'll be hard to get the momentum to come up. If they're too far, it might feel a bit weird when you're up here. You might feel unbalanced. So find the spot where you can lift and you feel stable and secure, and your wrists remain below your shoulders. So when you're ready, take a deep inhale, lifting your hips off the mat, bringing them as high as you can, squeezing your glutes. You don't have to let your neck fall all the way back, but you can if it feels good. breathing in and out in this pose. Long, deep breaths. Squeezing your glutes and your hamstrings, pressing your heels, grounding your heels into the mat. One more inhale here. And exhale, slowly release your hips back to the mat. And extend your legs in front. We'll do one twist before we lie down. So leaving your left leg extended, lift your right foot over your left leg, place your right foot down. We'll be twisting. You can bend your left leg if you want so that both legs are bent. I'll leave that up to you. With your left leg extended, you'll go for opposite limbs. So pressing your sit bones, take a second to press your sit bones into the mat and to sit really tall. And then take your left arm and wrap it around your right knee, drawing your right knee really close to your left shoulder. Once you have that, inhale your right arm up and back, landing behind you as you twist to the right, glancing over your right shoulder and breathing here. One more inhale. And exhale, unwinding your twist. Switching sides, extending your right leg out. Bringing your left foot over. Again, option to bend that right leg if you like. And now this time, hugging in your left knee with your right arm. Get it really close. Get that left knee really close to your right armpit. Extend your left arm in front as you inhale. Wrap it behind you as you exhale, landing behind you. And you're twisting to the left, looking over your left shoulder. Breathing in and out. Think about having a long spine here. So we're not rounding into our twist. We're sitting really tall. With every inhale, think about getting a little bit taller. Relaxing your face. Relaxing your jaw. One more inhale here. And exhale, release your twist. And let both legs come to the mat, come down to the mat. Bend your knees. Take hold of the space underneath your knees and slowly lie yourself down. So option to give yourself one last hug before taking your Shavasana pose. Drawing in your knees to your chest, wrapping your arms around your knees. Lifting your forehead, the back of your head off the mat. Drawing in your forehead to your knees, squeezing all your muscles. So contracting all your facial muscles, flexing your feet, squeezing your toes together, maybe clenching your jaw, squeezing your eyes shut. Do that for a few breaths and then release, letting everything go. Taking your Shavasana pose. Remember, your Shavasana is just a complete rest pose. So you'd let go of your breathing and any focus and concentration that you had on your breath. Let your eyes close. Let your mind wander. And remember, you don't have to lie on your back. You can lie on your side with a pillow under your head, or you can sit in a meditative pose. Just take a few minutes to relax here. Option to remain in Shavasana for a little bit longer. Or you can conclude your exercise right now by just wiggling your feet a little bit, wiggling your toes, moving your fingers around, maybe moving your wrists in circles, moving your head from side to side, slowly preparing your body to roll to the side, maybe rolling to your left side, pressing your right hand on the mat, and slowly coming back up to a seated position. You can keep your eyes closed and sitting really tall, sitting in hero's pose or sitting with your legs crossed. Take a few moments to thank yourself for the time that you gave. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. You can find my classes live at amnayoga.offeringtree.com. I'll see you next time. Thank you.